I said, see, all of you are dedicated to the goal. Here, I have continuously instilled in people that you're absolutely devoted to the process. Now what you're doing? You do this well. Most of them don't even know where I am taking them, all right? They're working for a certain project, they don't know what is the goal. I have something else, if I tell them right now, they'll freak because my goals are so far, they will give up. So right now, we have instilled this in them, you just absolutely involved in the process. Know the joy of involvement, first of all. Without absolute devotion to what you're doing right now, you will not do anything significant in your life. Whether it's art, music, spirituality, politics, business, take anything. Without being devoted to the process that you're doing right now, you think you will do anything significant? That's all he's saying.
In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna advises us to keep putting in effort without being attached to the results. But I find it incredibly hard to keep working and not obsess over the results. And I would love to know how we can better practice putting in effort while being detached to the results.
Well, so 200 CEOs were there last year also, this November it's coming again. And they just look at how seamlessly Isha Foundation functions. Variety of activity, all volunteers. You know, volunteers means what? Nobody's trained for the job. They are super dedicated, but they're not trained for the job. And you can't fire them because they're volunteers. If you hired them, you can fire them. They're volunteers, how to fire them, you can't. So they looked at this and said, Sadhguru, we pick up the best from IITs and IIMs and all this stuff, but you're just doing with volunteers and your organization functions better than our companies, how is it? I said, see, all of you are dedicated. Essentially, it is just this, whatever you wish to do in your life, you have goals. What kind of goal will you set up? Right now you're in the university. What kind of goal will you set up? What you already know, you will exaggerate that a little bit and think it's a big goal in your life. Generally, people call this an ambition, I call this a constipation. So after 16, he lived an extremely committed life. His commitment was to marry the political process of the day with the spiritual process. Because he saw, unless those who wield power are essentially in their experience have a larger sense of life and an inclusive sense of identity, not my family, my children, my husband, my wife, this stuff, you have a larger sense of identity, only then you must wield power, otherwise it will lead to corruption. People say, power is corruption. So everything that you have heard is only from Sanjaya, who was a king's servant. You must understand the quality of a king's servant, he's very reliable. See, if you… let's say, if your husband or wife or children, they saw something, they come and tell you, they will add a little bit of their own stuff and tell you. It is intrinsic to a human being. Their own opinions, ideas, other things will naturally get into what they're speaking. But a king's servant is trained never to add his opinion, otherwise his head will go. He will only interpret everything word by word as it was. So he is a kind of a…
जो जनरल अंडरस्टैंडिंग श्री राम या श्री कृष्ण का है ना, आपने तो बहुत अच्छा कहा कि कृष्ण योगी थे। कई बार लोग क्या कहेंगे कि वो तो ऐसे थे कि वो तो छली कपटी थे, है ना, वो तो एंड गोल के लिए कुछ भी कर देते थे, है ना, इट डिडंट मैटर, ही ब्रोक द रूल्स। बट कृष्ण जी का कैसा है ना, योगी, योगी मतलब क्या, समत्व। प्रत्येक परिस्थिति में ही इज वेरी बैलेंस्ड इन हिज एक्सप्रेशंस। हम लोग हमेशा उनको मुस्कुराते देखते हैं, पर इट इज द सेम इमोशन जब उनका पूरा परिवार नष्ट हो जाता है ना। वी डोंट सी हिम ब्रोकन, कृष्ण को कभी नहीं देखते हम ब्रोकन। वो जब कंस को मारते हैं और मथुरा आते हैं, है ना, वृंदावन से मथुरा आते हैं, कंस को मारते हैं, एंड देन फाइनली जाके उनकी लाइफ में कुछ पीस है, शांति है। परंतु फिर जरासंध क्या करता है, 18 बार अटैक करता है। जो सब बसा हुआ था सब छोड़ के कृष्ण चले जाते हैं अपने लोगों को लेकर, कि ऐसे वॉरफेयर ग्रस्त सिचुएशन में रहने का कोई अर्थ नहीं है। और क्षत्रिय के लिए तो ये बहुत बुरी बात है। फिर भी ही डिड व्हाट ही नीडेड टू डू एंड स्टिल वेरी कामली। उनके कोई भी निर्णय भाव में आकर नहीं लिए गए। दे हैव बीन टेकन बिकॉज दैट वाज द वे टू टेक इट। परंतु व्हेन इट कम्स टू एंड गोल विच इज धर्म संस्थापन एंड देयर ओन डिसीजन मेकिंग, योगस्थ होके, वो तो सिमिलर है।